breathe it in. The crisp air of Nicolet Bay. This area in far eastern Superior, roughly 275 miles or 450 kilometers from Clearwater County, has been important for as long as humans have settled it. The Ojibwa and Ottawa tribes that originally inhabited the area found that while these lands were unforgiving in topography, they were rich with wild game, making finding food, clothing, and shelter considerably easier in this place. And its freshwater shores made for easy traveling in summer months and provided a bountiful source of food in winter months. The area was then explored by French fur traders and Jesuit missionaries in the 1600s. The fur traders, including Jean Nicolet, set up outposts on the shores, enticed by the very furs and transportation corridors that originally made this place attractive for Native Americans to live in. Many of these trading posts would naturally grow into impressive cities as trading operations expanded. The missionaries, including Jacques Marquette, were sent to the area to convert Native Americans to Catholicism. And these missionaries set up missions. Many of these missions would later become important communities throughout the Midwest. Today we're going to build the first city around Nicolet Bay, Couillard Shores, which Jean Nicolet named for his beloved wife, Marguerite. Though the settlement originally existed for fur trapping and trading, it has become better known in recent days for forestry and fishing. Let's jump right in. Hello, welcome back to City Planner Plays, where we are building Nicolet Bay, and I am really excited to bring you this build. This build is going to be different than the other builds that you've seen on the channel. This is going to be a build that is somewhere in between Verde Beach and Clearwater County, in that Verde Beach is totally vanilla, Clearwater County is way on the deep end of mods and assets. This one will be lightly modded. There'll be quality of life mods in this build, and then there'll be assets that were created specifically for this build. So anything that's been created for the channel itself, so the Clearwater County trains and the flags for Superior, those are in here. I'm also adding the parking lot roads, and a transformer for jumping power. But beyond that, the only assets in here will be assets created specifically for this build. So I won't be adding assets weekly, I won't be adding mods weekly, and everything is available in a one-click collection, including this map. And I am really excited to share this map with you. I've been working on this. This is one of the first maps that I've ever created. In fact, if you look at my profile on Steam, you'll notice that there's one map that I've created, and then there's this one. And I spent a lot of time on this, and I'm really excited to share it with you. This map is unique, very similar to Clearwater County. We're starting in this tile right about here, and rather than starting with a gigantic interstate coming through, we have just a regular state highway. This is attached to an interstate, but it is not on the interstate itself. So I think it's kind of a unique flavor, and it will help us spur a more natural development pattern. So all of the content creator packs and DLCs will be used in this particular build, including the new Plazas and Promenades DLC and the 2 new content creator packs. So today we are going to bring life to the very first city in this area, which is part of Superior, and I want to talk a little bit about that as well. So this map is based on Mackinac Island in Michigan, which is a fully pedestrianized island. So this is Mackinac Island, but this would be Superior. Same with this island and this island here and this little one here. And this would be the state of Michigan. So this right here is the bridge connecting the two, very large bridge. And we have a toll booth right here. We're going to start right here, building Couillard. So let's get going. And remember, Couillard is based, the whole idea with Couillard is that this is a fishing village that also has some forestry industry, which makes sense when you look at what we have here. Tons of woods, and we've got tons of water. So let's get building. And the very first thing I want to do is upgrade a little bit of this highway to be a local road. And to me, that's a way to unlock our dirt roads. And as you might recall, if you've ever watched me put a build together before, I like to begin with dirt roads because to me, it's the most logical choice. The biggest problem that we have right now is money. And if we look at the cost of our roads, right here, these roads, the 2-lane roads, are $40 a cell with 32 cents a week upkeep. And if we look at our dirt roads, it's exactly half of that. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use this. They're inexpensive and they will get us going. So the focal point of this little area is going to be where we would expect the harbor to be. So we are going to build this right here, make a quick connection in. So obviously there's not a lot of space right here, but we're going to make do with what we have and try to make a little grid here. So I think we're going to make this fairly small, this grid. I'm going to turn off road guidelines though, because they're getting in the way, and we'll just 10 by 10. So let's see how far this is, 17. let's pay attention to the land and just have the roads fit our land. So we'll have a road come up here along the shore. We'll have this curve in, and then we'll divide this off. Actually, we can leave it just like this. That is plenty of roads in this area. So let's get we're going to need some utilities. So I mentioned the utilities that we have available. We'll pop this open, and you'll see that I have the transformer. I could just place a transformer, but we're not going to do that. We're going to place a coal power plant. And I like this location for it, truthfully, because I think that it would make a lot of sense to have the coal power plant right in the water. Because once we have a harbor, we want to be able to get the coal to it quickly. And the cheapest way to get it there is going to be on the water. It's the absolute cheapest way of getting anything anywhere if you can manage it. So it's a huge advantage for us with all of this water here. So we'll place our power plant right there. Beautiful. And we're going to need some form of wastewater and clean water as well. So we are going to place our water tower. We could place that over here. View here. And I want to check out our zoning. So I'm going to turn, and it's not going to show it. Well, that's the struggle with mods sometimes. I'll place that right about here, on the edge of the water. We're going to need to look at our wastewater treatment as well. So obviously there are a couple routes I could have gone. I could have gone to a pumping station. I just don't love this asset. Maybe I should like it more, but I don't. The water tower produces roughly half the water, and it consumes the same amount of electricity. In terms of the weekly upkeep, they're exactly the same. So if I were looking at this from a purely financial standpoint, we would definitely not go for the water tower, but we're going to do that anyway because I like it. But we'll try to be a little more considerate with our wastewater treatment. I think we are going to avoid, again, this outlet. I think they're kind of ridiculous, but we will take a look at both this inland water treatment plant right here, which has 100 pollution, 10 noise pollution, and costs 320 upkeep per week, 240 kilowatts of energy. We take a look at this. It's actually twice the energy, more upkeep, and half the drain capacity. So the pollution is half, but I think that this is where we're going to save some money. So we're going to build our inland water treatment plant, and we'll put that right next to this power plant. Now we need to make our connection here. And you might notice that there's already a water pipe underneath this road, and it's right where it belongs. We'll add the rest of our pipes in the same locations, or in the correct locations rather, not the same. We don't need to add multiple redundant pipes. That'd be crazy. But the reason why this pipe is here is actually quite simple. So if we pop out over here, you will see that there is this toll station, tolling all the people from Michigan coming into Superior. And we need to have power, water, including wastewater to serve this facility. So we had water. That's what this is. It's a pumping station. We had power at the transformer, but we did not have any sort of water treatment, wastewater treatment. So we've added that over here. Technically, we don't necessarily need this just yet, which is why I'm not sweating that it's not connected to the power system just yet. We'll get there. We need lots and lots of residential. We're going to do that right now. So right along here, we're just going to have some residential backing out to the water. And we're going to reserve this for commercial. This will kind of be our little commercial corridor. And Phillips Street, I do not like that. You know why? 2 L's. We'll fix it. All right, and I think we're going to also run some housing along the water. Let's be deliberate about this, though. And we will ensure that we're not ripping up the coast to make this happen. There we go. And I'm going to leave a little bit of a buffer there because I'm sure that we're going to have some pollution. I can't look at pollution at this point in time, but I know that it exists. It's a thing. So we obviously want to be considerate and thoughtful about that. So let's let this simulate for just a minute so that we can watch everything spread out towards our little community. Okay, power is finally connected, and I'm sorry if that stressed you out. It stressed me out too. But I think it was necessary. I could have run a power line down here, but I want to avoid getting rid of things that we build. If we build it, we should keep it around unless the game gets rid of it. So now we've got our little community set up, and I'm wondering, when do we have the ability to unlock fishing? Well, first of all, I can't go into our garbage and industry menu until we get to 240 population. So that will be what we need to get to first. And one of the things that we're going to struggle with is we're out of land at this point in time. Unless we start adding more residential to this road, we're kind of out of space. I might do that. Look at our contours. We could get away with a little bit. It's not great. I wouldn't want to live along this road, but this happens all the time in rural communities, and this is certainly a rural community at this point in time. So we'll add a couple of homes here, and I think we'll just call it there. And I noticed that there's this clearing up here, and it's the most natural place for future development. The other nice thing is up here, if we were to zoom in, look at the views you get. Beautiful views of the island, absolutely stunning. And water for days, just absolutely beautiful. So let's find a way up there. I think that that's our best choice right now. Right here to go up, this would be very steep though. So I'm curious, what would our grades be if we just went straight up here? Well, we left on our anarchy, so at least at a bare minimum, we have learned not to do that again. All right. So I'm gonna go into a network multi-tool, and I just want to have an idea of what these grades are like. Yeah, we're looking at 8% going straight up. I'd love to get that in the 3%-ish range. So what we're gonna do is switch back. So we'll go up a little bit, turn this around, and then we'll send this up. Now the tricky thing is I'm right at the edge of the map. So, and not the edge of the map, but the edge of my buildable zone. And we will be unlocking all 81 tiles, but right now I want to operate within the constraints of the game. I think it's a fun way to start. And we don't have a need to make a change just yet. So here, this is going to be what forms the backbone of our grid up here. So let's just send this road through. And now we can't just have one connection here. That would make this a cul-de-sac, and that would be very dangerous. So we're gonna need to find another path to get up here. So that path will likely come somewhere over here. So we could rely entirely on the network multi-tool to make this work, but I do think that we need to, we can't. 600 until we get to landscaping. All right, you know what? We are just gonna go without it, and we'll just live. We'll live dangerously and have a cul-de-sac up here until the game allows us not to have a cul-de-sac. And let's give some consideration to our grid. I'm almost thinking it might be fun to do something a little bit off the wall. We'll go with 8 by 12, something just a little bit different. And this is a small town, and this could have been developed this way because perhaps this worked the best with the industry that was up here, which will inevitably be it'll end up being the forestry industry. Okay, so let's get some water pipes up here, and we're going to want to start our growth up here. Now, I'm really hoping I can find a good way to get the power up here. You know, we have all of our transformers. It would be really lovely to use those to jump power. That said, I bet you it's not going to work. Just because I feel like that's going to be my luck with those things. This grid actually works really well for water pipes. So that's a positive thing right there, if we plan things out appropriately. That said, best planning doesn't work with water pipes because generally you're building them based upon when they're needed, which isn't necessarily when it's best. Now, normally in real life, a city could have a phasing plan for development of the entire community. That said, even if they have a phasing plan, there's a good chance a developer comes in and says, I will develop this right now, but you've got to let me. So that then politics gets involved. Right, so I just want to check our slopes here. We got one that's kind of rough now, one up here, 2.9. That is exactly what I was hoping for. 3. Now here might be rougher. Yeah, we got a couple really, really gnarly ones. So I think ideally this would be better. We are going to come back and move it. So I hit M, and then I'm selecting this, Control H. I'm going to set the height down here. Doing the exact same thing. So what I'm trying to do at this point is spread out all of the craziness with the terrain heights. So now I'm down to 5.2. That's not great, but I think I'm balancing it a little bit more. This is 3.9. I think I could go even more, but we'll call that okay. Sometimes you've got to let the game be a game. And this is going to be one of those instances for us. So here I am going to try my best to just jump the power. We will place a transformer box right here. See what happens? Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, I feel like I got away with one. So this is going to be our main street right here. And in fact, when we make our connection down here, I want to focus it on this street. So the interesting thing about our plan is that it's going to lead to a 3 by pattern of buildings. So I haven't done that before, and I'm excited to see what it's going to mean for the development of our community. And then we'll zone in a bit back here, fill things in just a little bit. And because I know, actually, back here, we're not going to go any further. So I'm going to call a mulligan on a couple of these houses. Oh, little hamlet. We got there. And what this does for us is gives us taxes, loans, garbage, healthcare, education, and campus areas. So if we wanted to get really wild and build a campus right away, we could. We also get landfills. So that is going to be important. We're going to have to build a landfill or a recycling center, though that's going to be really expensive. So we will see what we can do. But we're going to call that mulligan I talked about. And then we're going to immediately go into our budget menu because if we can raise taxes to 12%, some vague 12%, whatever that 12% means, I don't know. But I do know that 12% is the most that you can raise taxes without ticking off all your Sims. So we are clearly going to do that. Now, I believe our power jumped because no one's mad. Let's double check. Yes, everything is good. Everything is awesome. Perfect. Let's get into naming a couple of our streets. We'll make this Main Street because every place needs a Main Street. And the fun thing about Main Street is it will actually go straight down to the harbor, which is perfect in my book. And then we've got this other street, and we'll name this Shoreline Road. And I think we're going to number these streets, but I'm not sure where the numbering should begin. I'm guessing on Amanda Way. Now these streets are just a bear. One of the reasons why I'm just fixing all of these is you can't have streets with the same intersection multiple times, and that's what the game loves to do. It'll wrap a street around, and it'll make 5th Street go all the way around here, and you'll have a whole bunch of craziness happening. We're not doing that. So I've named the number streets. I'm going to hold off on these other streets because some of them are going to grow, and I see that there's a significant demand for industry at this point. So what I'm thinking, obviously, it's always the best to have the industry with direct access to the highway. That would be the ideal solution. I don't think that we have that unless we create a brand new industry area way over here. And that's not the way that cities develop. They don't go, well, you know what? We just need to focus on this. What happens is the industry is going to want to be by the people. So we're going to build it over here, and we're going to need to find a solution to get down over here at some point in time. So this is a little bit tricky, this terrain, but we're going to go for it anyway. Bringing two grids together can be tough, and in some cases, I think that it's almost more work than it's worth to try to make them look perfect. So what we're going to do is develop these kind of independently. I think that's going to be our best approach in this particular instance, and then we'll just find angles that work here and bring them together. And honestly, considering the fact that nothing is developed over here, we're going to consider this a bit of a platting error. We'll get rid of what is Winston Way. We'll just pull this right in. And thankfully, we've got anarchy. We can do whatever we want. So you don't like that game? I don't care. We are anarchying that right into existence. I love that. I love that a lot. Or I like that a lot. I like it enough. I wonder if I were to... Oh, yeah, I like that a lot more. Look at that. So this is where the not vanilla... Oh, goodness. That's a quality of life thing right there. I could not have made this easily, but I come through with my mod, a little bit of a little playing right there, and it's just perfect. All right, we've got a lot of things that I've been neglecting building, and we're gonna actually get to building those things now. So obviously our industrial zone, but the big thing is we need to have a landfill site, and we really should have some sort of, it'd be great if we had a recycling center. I just don't know if that's a very financially prudent move to make right now. Okay, there we go. We need some water pipes under here. We're extending this out, so we will do that. Perfect. And now we need to focus on our healthcare. And I do have European vanilla enabled, so we get these lovely European assets, and we are going to take full advantage. So we are going to have the clinic. We're going to place that off Audrey Road, and that's right off the main street. So we get all the value of this. So everyone down there was happy about this. But we also don't load onto our main street. So good all around. And we can add a school as well. So we're going to add a school in roughly the same location. I don't think we can place parks yet, but we're going to plan to have that park behind here. And hopefully the benefit will be that we jump power. We don't. Because why would we? That would be too easy. We'll also de-zone this because we don't want to have... And this is kind of a weird spot because the kids will be playing in a park down a hill. But sometimes you have weird situations, I suppose. There we go. I really need the power to jump. That would be really, really, really nice. I'm going to speed this up for just a moment and see if we get the power to jump. We may not have gotten our power to jump, but we did unlock Worthy Village, which gets us very close to where we need to be to unlock our industrial. Actually, it looks like our industrial tab is open. All right, so what we get now are districts, policies, loans, our second loan anyway, police department, fire department, some policies, self-sufficient buildings, smoke detector distribution. We're going to absolutely take advantage of that policy right off the bat. So as soon as these things unlock, you have to place them. It's not an option. It's not like, congratulations. It is a you must place these things now. So again, I want to go with the European versions, except for the police station. I just don't like the way the police station looks. Maybe you disagree. Just personal preference. So there we go. So a whole city services campus right here. And that will get our power to jump, which is a good thing. Let's look at our policies. Absolutely going to enable smoke detector distribution. And now we have the ability to draw a district, and we need to name our community. So this will be our city boundary. There we go. Looking good. So let's finish naming our streets. And I think for the rest of our streets, we can name them after places of importance. Okay, so a couple of street names through there, naming them after places in Superior, since this is in the state of Superior. In fact, if we wanted to get really crazy with it, there we go. There we go. I love it. I love it. So now we've got some more residential demand. We are going to meet that because we desperately need to unlock our fishing industry, which if we take a look, 600 people. We're so close. 600 is also what we need to unlock our parks and plazas. And for our landscaping menu, 600 as well. So 600 is that milestone of all milestones, apparently. So I really care about that one because we need to have a second way to get down here. And there are multiple reasons why that's going to help us. First of all, right now we're in a position where if we're not maximizing the efficiency of all of our city services. They're way up here on this hill, on this cul-de-sac. It's not good. Not good. So let's upgrade this road financially. No, we're not going to do it. So we could be micromanaging our budget right now, and maybe we should be. So I could come through here, look at our city vitals, and see what I could take down. I think for water and power, we could take those down quite a bit. My problem is I always forget about it, and then I end up in a situation where I'm wondering why the city won't grow. So I think that maybe as silly as it is, we're just going to leave it, and I'm going to let this run for a minute, and we're going to get to 600 before you know it. And what did I say? Tiny town, 600. We're already there. Even faster for you than it was for me, and it wasn't that long for me. So this opens up some industry areas for us, the landscaping panel. We can finally build a proper industry if that's what we want to do. We have concerts, we have parks, so many policies, we have the ability to make trails at this point, fishing routes, which is what we're going to care about right now. Canals, okay. we're not going to do that. Parks, which is huge. Our dog parks, which we need. Basketball courts, a little bit of everything. And our parking garage. I didn't mention this, but not only did I bring in our parking lot roads, but I also brought in one standard parking garage. Real basic. I don't want to get really crazy about this, but we do want to consider it. So there we go. Now we're going to need to find our way down from here. So that's the very first thing I want to do. We're going to focus on our way down. We're going to add some parks, and then we're going to build our fishing industry. So I think we have an opportunity right now to focus on getting over here to extend our ability to build up here. So that's what we're going to do. I think that at the city, we're looking to extend this road down. It's hard to get it directly straight down, but if you spend a little bit of time grading, we could open up access to this area right here. So let's come through, go with a modest size brush, maybe 45. And we want to connect up to Main Street. So we're going to grab our height from here. In fact, we're going to start out, and then we'll pick our slope terrain tool, right mouse click at the top, and we're going to come right here and slope up. And then from there, let's get that road built first so we don't lose track of what we're up to. So we'll just build a dirt road. These are our planning roads, and they are our roads. So it will work quite well for us. Just run that right up here. And then we got our main drag right here. And I'm going to find my road guideline with the curved road tool, find that node, and just a gentle turn in right down here. And I bet you that this percentage here is absolutely beautiful. Let's check it out. We're not going to be too sloped in this area. Oh yeah, look at that. The most sloped area is 1.6%. I'm very pleased. That's awesome. All right. And now we need to get down here. So this one's going to be a bit trickier, but this is where, again, mastering your sloping can really be helpful. So what we're going to do is find the location of our switchback, and we're going to place that right about here. And then we'll flatten out a spot up here, pick our top height, right mouse click up, slope up from there. And then this is now our new top height, so we'll slope from here and come right around. So now you can see where our switchback is to go. So let's get this going. I want this to be a 90, so I'm going to go just 3 units up directly from there. That'll make for the safest entry point into that area, coming in at a 90 like that. And then we're just going to follow this around here. And it's like these trucks know where it's going to go because they're already all deciding that this is the right route for them even before the road is connected. So I guess whatever works. Oh, they're whipping Uis right there. All right. You know, I guess we need some no U-turn signs. All right, let's check out our percentages here as well. 2, we can live with that. And here, 5.9. 5.1 all the way down, not great. We're gonna go into move it, hit M, click this, drop this down using page down. And then we'll grab this one and control H to select height here. And then we can slope this. Now we're at 4.1 up here, which is better. We're gonna slope to there, and now we've got 3. So I think we could fix all of these if I took this a bit further back. 3, there we go. So not ideal, but we are building a very important road, and I think that the other solution that we would have through here, now that we have our landscaping available to us, would be to come through and we'll just taper this off a little bit. But I'm not gonna get too crazy because I love the way that this theme looks. And I should, because I grabbed a bunch of themes and combined them to make one that I think is wonderful. So I really, really enjoy this. So in this build, expect me not to be so cliff crazy because I can live with some cliffs. I promise. So there we go. We've opened this up, and I believe that this is actually this would be okay for agriculture. So we don't want to develop our lumber industry through here. A bunch of industrial sites. We want to think about this a little bit because we could have a farm, and there's value in that as well. So Pleasant Drive. This would be a pleasant drive. There we go. So I didn't name Phillip Street, but if you've got an idea for Phillip Street, let me know because I think that this needs to be a really special street. This street actually goes all the way out of the map twice. I guess it will twice someday. Right now it just stops there. But it's the most important road really coming through here. It's the conversion of the state highway, and it's the Strode. What is a Strode besides a state highway that's been converted to a local road with a bunch of business serving uses right here? So perfect. The other thing we have available to us is the surface painter. So if we wanted to clean this up at all, we could absolutely do that. And that is something that I wanted to ensure is in here. So we could pave over paradise. There we go. Gives us that visual continuity that matters so much to me anyway. I don't know if it does to you. Maybe you're looking at me thinking, what are you doing? You're just destroying the map and you need to stop. Crazy man. I apologize. This is what I do. So now we are going to add in some landscaping. And particularly in between these areas, I feel like we would have been carving into a forest. So let's make it feel like we're carving into a forest. We don't want to put too many along the coast. I'm starting to add these and immediately regret it because who's going to be okay with a 50-foot oak tree blocking their view of the water in their yard? Not very many people. Not very many people. So we can have minimal landscaping. So there we go. Very good. Now it's time for our fishing industry. So I have this road here, but we're going to end this. We're not going to do that. Let's pop into here and not put trash. We need to put a fishing industry. So we have our fishing harbor and a fish market. I think we need to get that market into our downtown area. It's not gonna fit. So, can we buy a tile yet? We can. This is probably not the best tile to buy under most conventions, but we're gonna buy all 81 tiles next anyway, so I'm just gonna buy this, and then we'll place this here. Because I don't want to play with this and get all crazy about it, we will just move this around in there nicely. And because we have the network multi-tool, we can just unlock Dale Street from here and then go into our union nodes mode. And I'm just going to union the end of this road to the end of this road. And that will name it Chapman Street now, apparently. I guess whatever works. We are going to upgrade this. We're making a little bit of money. We don't have a lot of money, but our fishing industry is going to help out considerably. I hope. So let's turn off our collision. We don't want to demolish all of our buildings. We'll make everyone happy though. And we'll add this as well. Perfect. So now we've got this fishing industry right here that we need to develop. So let's get some fishing boats. Now, I always do this wrong. I think that the way that you're supposed to do it is to kind of min-max it. I don't really know how to figure out the perfect length while you're building it. I just know that the perfect length is shorter than I want it to be. So I know that we're going to look at this and see where it ends up, and it's going to end up being shorter than or longer than it should be. And for part of the trip back, it's going to just say that it's traveling. I'm okay with that. Truthfully, I have to fight myself right now to not make this longer. I really would love to bring this over by the water and really by the bridge and activate that. But we'll leave it here. So this industry is going to be very important because one of the most important people in this community to us works at this particular harbor. But more about them in the next episode. So let's check out how well this works. So I'm just going to come through here. We're going to follow the boat for just a moment. And what I want to see, the main thing that we're trying to see is when the boat gets full. And there you go. We're at 100% now as the boat is turning around to go back in. So if you were min-maxing this and you wanted it to be ideally, like maximally efficient, I would have this actually be half the length of what it currently is. Now, to me, that's nonsense. If we look, that would mean that the fishing route stops right here. It just has that real quick loop and empties out every single anchovy or whatever. Not even anchovy, this is just fish. Every single fish that is along the coast. Yeah, we could do that. It's just pretty boring. So we're not gonna do that. All right, now the other idea, we have the ability to actually do more with it because we have mods. So why don't we try something weird? So we're gonna place this, and then I'm just gonna snag this. We'll run this over. I'm gonna put this right next to this. Thomas Young Street, Control H to the height of this. And now in the network multi-tool, I'm going to unlock the road, delete it, and then let's pull this right up to here. Now, that's just not something that you get to see all that often in this game, and that is neat. I like that a lot. Also, we have the opportunity, because I left prop and tree anarchy on, to see the trees popping up through everything. So we'll take that back. Let's also fix this road up. That's so nice. And then we will add one more fishing route, and we're going to send this in the opposite direction past the power plant. Oh, look at that. Interesting. I hope that doesn't create problems. We're going to find out. Okay, and again, we're using this a bit to activate the coast, so I know that this is not the most effective route in the way that we've laid it out. I don't care. I really want this to activate the water. I want it to look nice. And we'll deal with some fishing boats. Clearly, it's just barely away from the shore. And it's already got its load halfway full. Over here, 70%. It's just picking up so many fish. It's way too good at its job. All right. Well, now we need to focus on a couple of things that I think are going to be really interesting. So we're going to use a little bit of eminent domain here, I believe. Let's see if we have our warehouses unlocked. We need to get to a population of 900. I'm going to use some eminent domain on residential. So let's add in a couple more houses up here. After, we are going to use some eminent domain to place our fish market in. So we could have left this and put this, I'm really deeply regretting what I did. yeah, that wasn't the height of realism, and we're gonna do better. We can't do that. We can't just start blasting through our city. We're not playing that style. That's not right. The city's gonna come for the planner's head, and they should. No one deserves to be removed from their house like that. That's unacceptable. All right, let's fix this. Okay, and we're back in business. Things are looking good again. And except for all of the trees, it is one of those days for me. I'm going to keep forgetting about anarchy, but it's okay. It's okay. We will get better as the series goes on. That's the thing about this. There's not a huge mod list for me to remember. So the little mod list that's in here, I'm going to figure out over time. So I do want to just make this look a little bit more natural. In fact, let's just add a road back here. I could see value in this road anyway, in terms of it being a secondary access into this area. So there we go. Now we have our fish market, so we can go and catch all that fish and sell it to the citizens of the area. But we don't have our parks, and I'm sure that if we take a look, our Sims are very sad as a result. And we have one excellent way to make everyone happy. Actually, they're fine. They're happy-ish. The industry loves it. They love just dumping their pollution right into the atmosphere. Boomtown. We can unlock another area. We get public transportation. We get taxis. We get ferries. We get tours and post offices. We get a lot of things to add. We also have airport areas, recycling policies, highways, water pipes with heating, cemeteries. So that's one that we have to add. Childcare and elder care, we have to add those as well. Or no, we don't have to, but we should. We also get disaster response buildings, short radio masts, the sorts of things of those nature. And we get our fish factory, which we probably should place. But we also get this warehouse. So we've got a lot of things that I care deeply about. We're going to place a couple of these, and we're going to start out right here. Their warehouse. You might be thinking to yourself, what are you doing adding a warehouse for the fishing industry? That is not necessary. It is in our build. And the reason why is I added a mod called Fishing Warehouses. We're going to place this right here, and we will set this stored resource to fish. Simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. So if you ever wanted to be able to store fish, that's how you do it. So there we go. And now we have the ability to take this, store it here, and take it over here. So hopefully that'll improve our distribution of fish. And by golly, I've made so many mistakes have been made with anarchy. We're going to take care of it now. We can't leave it like this. It's too much. It's too much. I've gone too far. Just like we pre-grade, we should also be pre-removing trees, I suppose. There we go. And I'm digging this little community. I'm really digging it. I think that this is a very nice little community. All right. So the problem with it is that it doesn't have parks, and we're going to need to do something about that. So the very first thing I want to do is add a dog park. Everyone loves a dog park. And one natural place for the dog park to me would be next to the landfill. And that might sound crazy to you, but hear me out. So dog parks, at least in my area, many landfills become dog parks. So when they're capped, they become a dog park. And oh, look at that. That is ugly. So we have ruining on, and we're going to fix that. Interesting. So I'm supposed to use Bob for this. So I've done that, and it'll probably just be this way until I get the next load in. So yeah, it could be worse. We will fix that on the next load in, apparently. There we go, though. So we've got one park, but we can do so much better. The school needs a park, so we are going to add a playground for the children at the school. Just a small playground behind it. And we are going to also add in a path. We can just have a gravel path behind this. I'll just add a couple of paths. No need to get skimpy on your paths, of all things. And we'll have a young linden, a row of young linden here. Just a nice little decoration along here. Very nice. Very nice. And let's see how we are looking. There's value in adding these sorts of things. So from my perspective, when you add in parks, you're actually improving the value to the point that generally the park pays for itself. Okay, so we'll clear out our trees here. I'm having some weird conflicts where for whatever reason, it's allowing me to place some things straight through here. So maybe there are a couple of things in my mod list that I need to straighten out, or it's just me. Today, I've had some issues, but we're making progress. I want to upgrade just a little bit now. So what we're going to do is come through and upgrade this main road coming in. It's collision. I always forget collision. So there we go. Collision's on, and now we're good again. So let's add this on there. There must be a hotkey that I routinely hit. Or no, I actually turn collision off. I just do it. And then I forget. So I desperately need to get better about that. Oh well, not today. Not today, friends. There we go. I just wanted to upgrade all of Main Street. We're going to keep most of our other roads dirt roads for now, but this is our one road that will give us some speed as we're getting through the community. So the reason why collision was off to begin with is probably a reason I'll turn it back on and forget it on again. And that is that it's really beneficial to not destroy all your buildings if you turn collision off. So that is what I did before, and that's what I'll do again, and it'll be a problem once again. I want to go around here with a path. I think it would be nice to have kind of a rural scenic walk around the fish market, make it more of a vibe back here. So now you could walk back here. And I would imagine that this path would be heavy enough that if you were a vendor, you could drive up the path too. You'll sometimes see that particularly for fire trucks, you'll have a reinforced path so that a fire truck can go on the path as well. So that would provide that access there. I like that. I like that a lot. Now we've got to extend First Street again down here. There we go. And we are looking good. We are looking really good. We need to get our population back up to 900 though. We can't take it down and be okay with that. We're not okay with that. Let's look. We'll add a couple more roads through here. No, we won't. That's going to slope right down. So we'll just have residential right across there. And then same deal back here. I think that we could potentially work our way up here. So I don't want to sever all roadway connections. Obviously, it's pretty steep back here, but it looks like there is the potential that we could find a way to get up here, and there's more flat ground up there. So not sure that we're going to get there anytime soon, but I think that the city would want to keep its options open, and that would be a way to do that. So with this, I think that we should be able to hit our population. I'd love to get us the goal will be to get ourselves to 1,000. So I'm going to add in a couple more buildings. Obviously, we need our post office. We can't forget about that. And we will load this one right on the main drag. We got to have that at the right corner, though, so that it is loading so that the corner faces this really nicely. Look at that. Very good. Don't love that it's loading onto the main street, but we'll live with it. And let's build up our population a little bit more to get ourselves to 1,000. So I'm going to make this parallel with this hill here. And I'm curious, before we keep doing that, we've got to look at our percentages just to see how we're looking. Yeah, that's too much. We can't do that. As much as cities historically have just basically laid out on a map, and then when you actually get there to build it, it's a little much. We're not going to do that. I think we can extend back here a little bit. There's a building in the way, so we can't necessarily build right here, but this isn't too much. We're at a little pocket of commercial back here as well. Just something that someone could walk to. Now, I didn't leave a path here, so this ends it. There's no going that way. But there's no going up this way either, so we can have some larger homes. There we go. And here we're going to extend the residential this way as well. We'll have some commercial to buffer, but I feel like we can live dangerously here. So we will live very dangerously, very close. Look at that, our ruining is gone. Perfect, something fixed. I had too many ruining options on apparently, and now we're good to go. So this is a nice little community. I dig this. Let's see the kinds of views that people would get from their house. So if you're in this house, water for days, just beautiful. And it's like that for many houses in the community. And I don't think that people would take that for granted. I really don't. Back here, we are going to delineate a park. We're not going to build the park today. But I think that this would be an excellent location for just a small park. We've already got the bones of it here. We've got the fish market. We've got the views. We've got a path. Why not formalize it, make this a park? In fact, we'll just take the fish market, put it right inside. And we'll name that in the next one. We'll name that in the next one. And we have reached our population milestone, and I'm very excited about that. We got to clean up a couple of things, and that's one that we got to clean up. we can't leave these folks without water. They moved into their home only to be shut out of the water system, and we are bleeding money. Holy cow. I know a solution, and you guys probably aren't going to like it. We're going to turn off our smoke detector distribution policy, and that's going to fix everything. No, it won't. Let's look at our production and see what we can turn down. So we got way too much electricity, way too much everything, basically. So we'll take these all down a little bit, balance our budget, be fiscally prudent, and not lazy. Because, let's be honest, I was being a little lazy. Now we have a surplus. And I'm very curious, if we take a look at our fishing industry, what is that doing for us? So we are losing vast amounts of money from our fishing industry, which is really unfortunate. That is not what I expected. Plenty of fish there. We've got fish happening here. And it's just it's not going as well for us as I had hoped. Only 70 fish sold last week. It'll get better. I think we're not in a terrible spot. At least our bank budget appears to be improving. I think there's only one thing to do, and that is to zoom in and have a brief city tour. Okay, and that was a great city tour. The city is small, but I feel like it has unlimited potential right now. And that's one thing that's great about starting out a city. You get to see all of the potential of your community, and you get to really dream about what it could become. And I'm really excited to continue to dream about what this place could become with you in the next one. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you did, please consider hitting the like button. If you aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.